Hello viewers. Today I'll be reading Mythos by Stephen Fry. Greek myths retold. Out of chaos. These days, the origin of the universe is explained by proposing a Big Bang, a single event that instantly brought into being all of the matter from which everything and everyone are made. The ancient Greeks had a different idea. They said that it all started not with a bang, but with chaos. Was chaos a god, a divine being, or simply a state of nothingness? Or was chaos, just as we could use the word today, a kind of terrible mess, like a teenager's bedroom, only worse? Think of chaos, perhaps, as a kind of grand cosmic yawn, as in a yawning chasm or a yawning void. Whether chaos brought life or substance out of nothing, or whether chaos yawned life up, or dreamed it up, or conjured it in some other way, I don't know. I wasn't there, nor were you. And yet, in a way, we were. Because all of the bits that make us were there. It's enough to say that the Greeks thought it was chaos who, with a massive heave, or a great shrug, or hiccup, vomit, or cough, began the long chain of creation that has ended with pelicans and penicillin, a toadstool and toads, sea lions, seals, lions, human beings, and daffodils, and murder, and art, and love, and confusion, and death, and madness, and biscuits. Whatever the truth, science today agrees that everything is destined to return to chaos. It calls this inevitable fate entropy, part of the great cycle from chaos to order and back again to chaos. Your trousers began as cosmic atoms that somehow coalesced into matter that ordered itself over eons into a living substance that slowly evolved into a cotton plant that was woven into the handsome stuff that sheathes your lovely legs. In time, you will abandon your trousers, not now, I hope, and they will rot down in a landfill or be burned. In either case, their matter will at length be set free to become part of the atmosphere of the planet. And when the sun explodes and takes every particle of this world with it, including the ingredients of your trousers, all of the constituent atoms will return to cold chaos. And what is true for your trousers is of course true for you. So the chaos that began everything is also the chaos that will end everything. Now, you might be the kind of person who asks, but who or what was there before chaos? Or who or what was there before the Big Bang? There must have been something. Well, there wasn't. We have to accept that there was no before, because there was no time yet. No one had pressed the start button on time. No one had shouted, now! And since time had yet to be created, time words like before, during, when, then, after lunch, and last Wednesday had no possible meaning. It screws with the head, but there it is. The Greek word for everything that is the case what we would call the universe is cosmos. And at the moment, although moment is a time word and makes no sense just now, neither does the phrase just now. At the moment, cosmos is chaos, and only chaos, because chaos is the only thing that is the case. A stretching, a turning up of the orchestra, but things are about to change very quickly. The first order. From formless chaos sprang two creations, Erebus and Nyx. Erebus, he was darkness, and Nyx, she was night. They coupled at once, and the flashing fruits of their union were Hemera, day, and Ether, light. At the same time, because everything must happen simultaneously until time is there to separate events, chaos brought forth two more creations, Gaia, the earth, and Tartarus, the depths and caves beneath the earth. I can guess what you might be thinking. These creations sound charming enough. Day, night, light, depths and caves. But these were not gods or goddesses. They were not even personalities. And it may have struck you also that since there was no time, there could be no dramatic narrative, no stories, for stories depend on once upon a time, and what happened next. You'd be right to think this. What first emerged from chaos were primal elemental principles that were devoid of any real colour, character, or interest. These were the primordial deities, the first order of divine beings from whom all of the gods, heroes, monsters of Greek myth sprang. They brooded over and lay beneath everything, waiting. The silent emptiness of this world was filled with when Gaia bore two sons, all on her own. The first was Pontus, the sea, and the second was Uranos, the sky, better known to us as Uranus, the sound of whose name has ever been the cause of great delight to children from 9 to 90. Hemera and Ether bred two, and from their union came Thalassa, the female counterpart of Pontus the sea. Uranos, who preferred to pronounce his name Uranos, was the sky and the heavens in the way that, at the very beginning, the primordial deities always were, the things they represented and ruled over. You could say that Gaia was the earth of hills, valleys, caves, and mountains, yet capable of gathering herself into a form that could walk and talk. The clouds of Uranos, the sky, rolled and seethed above her, and they too could coalesce into a shape we might recognize. It was so early on in life of everything. Very little was settled. The second order. Uranos, the sky, covered his mother Gaia, the earth, everywhere. He covered Gaia in both senses. He covered her as the sky still covers the earth to this day, and he covered her as a stallion covers a mare. When he did so, something remarkable happened. Time began. Something else began too. What shall we call it? Personality, drama, individuality, character, with all its flaws and failings, fashions and passions, schemes and dreams. Meaning began, you might say. The seeding of Gaia gave us meaning, a germination of thought into shape. I'll leave such speculation to those better qualified, but it was nevertheless a great moment in the creation of and conjoining with Uranus, her son, and now her husband. Gaia unwound the ribbon of life that runs all the way to human history, and our own selves, yours and mine. Right from the start, the union of Uranus and Gaia was gratifyingly productive. 12 robust, healthy children came first. 6 male, 6 female. The males were Uranus, Cous, Crius, Hyperion, Epitus, and Cronus. The females, Thea, Themis, Mnemosyne, Phoebe, Tethys, and Rhea. These 12 were destined to become the second order of divine beings, earning themselves a legendary name. And somewhere, as time crept into being, the clock began, the clock of cosmic history that still ticks today. Perhaps one of these newborns was responsible. We can look into that later. Not content with these 12 strong, beautiful brothers and sisters, Uranos and Gaia gave the world yet more progeny. 2 distinctive but distinctly not beautiful sets of triplets. The 3 Cyclopes came first, one-eyed giants who gave their father Sky a whole new range of expressions and modulations. The eldest Cyclops was called Brontes, thunder. Next came Steratops, the lightning, and then Arges, brightness. Uranos could fill the heavens with flashes of lightning and crashes of thunder. He gloried in the noise and spectacle, but the second set of triplets Gaia bore sent even greater shudders through him and all who saw them. Perhaps it is kindest to say that they were a mutational experiment never to be repeated, a genetic dead end. For these newborns, the Hecatoncheires, Each had 50 heads and 100 hands, and were as hideous, fierce, violent, and powerful as anything that had yet been released into being. Their names were Cotus, the Furious, Gyges, the Long-Limbed, and Agion, the Sea-Goat, sometimes also called Briareos, the Vigorous One. Gaia loved them. Uranos was revolted by them. Maybe he was most horrified by the thought that he, Lord of the Sky, could have fathered such strange, ugly things. But I think that, like most hatred, his revulsion was rooted in fear. Filled with disgust, he cursed them. "For offending my eyes, you shall never see light again." As he roared these furious words, he pushed them and the Cyclopes back into Gaia's womb.